Hi, I'm Megan Trombley. I get to talk to you today about mindset makeover. Let me define mindset for you. A habitual or characteristic mental attitude that determines how you will interpret and respond to situations. It's all emotional. It's all what we're thinking, right? So let me take you back to the year 2000 in my life. I was 28 years old. I had just had my fourth baby. My husband was an F-18 pilot in the Marine Corps. We were loving life. We were living the dream. We were young. In October, he got diagnosed with a rare cancer. He got a diagnosis of no one surviving this cancer, 5 years. And so our mindset began to take hits, right? You think of all the what ifs. What could happen? Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? The thing about my husband is he didn't allow those thoughts to come in. He immediately shifted his mindset and said, not only am I going to beat this, but I am going to fly again. My dream isn't over. This is just a little blip of time. For me, I have to admit, I was not there with him in that mindset. I had a lot of fear and a lot of doubt, but I knew that there had to be somebody out there that knew what we could do. So we began to look for alternative treatments. We consulted alternative doctors, dentists, nutritionists, and we came up with a plan. See, the thing is on that side, we found a lot of positivity. If you're still breathing, there's hope. And that's what they kept saying to us. And I loved that, clinging to that positivity. So we began our journey there. Good news is, 10 months later, he was all better, and we were moving into the next phase of our life. For him, that was fighting for his career. For me, it was having another baby. So number 5 came that year after that. And so that had a lot of other things to go with it. Now I have 5 babies and I'm homeschooling, and we're hoping that every 6 months we get a good report. So the back of my mind says, yeah, you're out of the woods right now. Have you ever been there? Like, now what's gonna happen? So we get moved, and we move to another duty station, and within 4 months, one of my parents passes away. So that is something unexpected. Where's my mindset there? I wasn't happy with where we had moved. Then that happened. Then I get to have number 6. So yes, 2 more babies after the cancer battle. Now my other parent had to move in with us. Then I lost that parent shortly after. So I'm having a life of whirlwind events, ups and downs, moves, deaths that are close to me, babies. My husband went through this epic battle, all kinds of things. So you can imagine the mindset, right? It's going up and down and all over the place. But see, the thing that was happening also is that I stopped taking care of myself. Don't forget that your health is part of your mindset, part of what drives that positive feeling. Energy, feeding it the right fuel, things like that is part of this process. It's not just think of a new thought. It's got a whole bunch of things tied to it. So I began to slide down the hill of not taking care of myself, not watching my weight, not doing my exercise. You know the things, you've been there. So as the years progress, thankfully, my children grow. We come to a place where we are happy. And my husband, he did get to fly, by the way, got his wings back. And so things progress, but not for my health. I still wasn't at a place to take care of my body because I still was in the mindset of, I have to take care of everyone else. There's so much to do in a day. And I know some of you are there. So what did I do? I had this giant, why am I here? Why did I gain so much weight? Why am I tired? Well, I know, because when I was 28 years old, which if you do the math, that was a while ago. Why at 28 years old did I allow myself to go down this road? Well, I know it's because, my world blew up. And I know you've been there too, where the world's blown up. And so what do? You come down this road and you keep blaming the why. this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. And so you kind of get yourself off the hook. Maybe you've thought thoughts, well, like bad things always happen to me, or, you know, I don't know, this won't work for me, or so-and-so said this is not the right eating plan or thing you're doing. And so you begin to let doubt creep in that you'll ever go back to where you were. So what happens next is really important. At some point, you got to grab a hold of that, what happened to you. And you've got to work on the feelings behind that. And you know the coolest part? Gary was way ahead of us. He made this incredible kit called the Feelings Kit. And I encourage you, if you're still holding on to the what happened to me, this kit, working on it for 30 days, and Young Living's been so amazing. They have it right on their website on what to do with the oils, suggested uses of them. And I would say just grab a journal, write it out. Journaling is so powerful because we need to acknowledge the why, right? We need to thank it for coming into our lives. Why? Because it taught us a big lesson. And maybe there's a series of things, right? We could all go on because life has its ups and downs. But that feelings kit, it was huge for me to let go of the this happened to me and this is why I am what I am today. Because a lot of that, it might have started that way, but it didn't have to continue for all the years. So now I want to talk to you about the why. Why do you want to change your mindset? What do you want out of life? Do you have a vision? Do you know where you're going? Do you have kids like I do that I want to be the example to? Do you have, dream of going around the country or the world? Do you have a dream of running in a 5K? What is it that you want to do in your life that you still have left, the years ahead, right? You begin to focus on that. So first we want to let go of that what happened, or what's the series of things that happened, and we want to move into that why. I know you've heard you got to know your why, but truly, do you know your why? Do you have a vision? Do you have a vision that makes you so passionate? So recently, in September of last year, I started a Better Me journey. I started working on my mindset. I started working on my physical body. I started working on losing the weight, right? And part of that had to do with my mindset. Am I willing to do the sacrifices? Are you willing to put yourself first? So you know the old saying, you gotta save yourself before you save someone else, right? I used to hear that all the time and go, I'm sure that's true, but you don't know how busy I am. You don't know how many ways I'm going in a day. I'm telling you it's true. I'm telling you that in these last 6 months, I have released almost 80 pounds because I was carrying stuff connected to my mindset, connected to the what happened to me that I needed to walk through and I needed to release. And I wish I could give Gary a hug around his neck and say thank you for the feelings kit, because I woke up, especially in the beginning, doing the feelings kit every morning, journaling out what was coming to my mindset, my emotional response to my situation. Sometimes restriction, right? A new exercise program, you got the aches, the pains, the I don't have time for this. Truth is, what we prioritize, we do have time for. So our mindset creates our priorities. So hone in on your why. Why did I want to lose 80 pounds and still have more to go? Because I love my family. I love traveling. I love climbing mountains. And a couple years ago, my husband got the opportunity to climb Mount Kilimanjaro for the Young Living Foundation. And I watched him shift into the mindset of, I cannot wait to do this. And so we went to this training mountain and I had to drive it. The first time in my life, I had to drive to the top of the mountain and wait for him. I used to be able to be by his side and climb these. So I thought right there, this is not where I want to be. So my mindset on top of that mountain yes, it was discouraged, but I had to choose. What are you going to do about it? Where are you going to be in a year? Where are you going to be the next time there's a challenge? Or hey, why don't you come back and just climb this mountain? See, I've known that mountain since I was a little kid. And so at that point in my life, to not be able to climb it was like, no, that means I can't go home. Go home. Figure out what your why is, where you're going. Go back. Reclaim some things. Did you run? Did you ride bikes? Did you play in the dirt? Did you swim? Doesn't matter. Go back to that. What's your why? Remember that as you move through. So how? Check out my notes here. Release the past. We talked about that. The journaling, right, with the feelings kit. When you do that, I'd encourage you to also do some things like physical cleansing. And there's plenty of ways you can get into a challenge where your body can also be cleansing and releasing at the same time as your mind. Working together, it's amazing. Number 2, set up a daily plan, okay? Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? We've all heard that. But do you have a plan? Do you know what your next steps are? Wrap your mind around that, because you know what? It gets really exciting. It gets really full of hope. And so write it down. Write down your plan. If you do Young Living as a brand partner, write down your plan. Sometimes it's scary and out of the box, and we get that. But there's so many of us that want to come around you and want to lift your mindset in that area too, right? Gary said there's going to be an oil in every house. I cannot wait for that to happen. It's going to happen in our lifetime. We're going to see it because his mindset as a leader is leading us to see every person who needs our oils, right? Okay, routines are made to discipline our mind and body so we can be more of what we were created to be and do it well. I'm going to say that again. Routines are made to discipline our mind and body. We do need discipline. So we can be more of what we were created to be and do it well. Doesn't that excite you? I'm so excited to be more of what I was created to be and then to do it well, right? Where will you be when you meet your first goal? Think about it. You've got a vision. Now you've got the plan written. Where are you going to be when you hit the first goal? What does that look like, feel like, taste like, sound like? Use all the senses, right? What does that feel like, smell like, taste like, hear like? Those are in my notes, but is that important? Can you put yourself there? Like really close your eyes, smell an oil that maybe you'll afford when you get there. Or if you were sitting on top of a mountain, would you be smelling Sacred Mountain? Or would it have been Highest Potential, Gary's favorite, right? That you made it to the top of that mountain. I have a feeling I know which one I'll be smelling, right? So I smell it now, and it lifts me to that, yes, you can do this. Spend time writing in your journal. Cut out pictures that relate to your goals. Yes, vision boarding, right? Pick on oil and blend and smell it every time you read that goal. It can be one, it can be a new oil for each thing. And I'm telling you, what I love about this company is that the people around you want to share. They want to share. So if you are in a place and a mindset that you don't have rose oil and you really want to use rose oil, I'm sure someone around you will share a drop so you can do this exercise with rose oil and see yourself in a better roses when you meet your goal. Okay, another thing I want to tell you is to allow the tears to come. That's the hard part, right? We kind of go, this is really what's happening, and then the tears start to come and you're like, I can't cry. I have things to do. Let me tell you a real quick story. When I saw a homeopathic doctor of mine, she asked me after the situation I was telling you about if I had grieved. I said, I can't grieve. I have 6 kids. When do I have time to cry about things? I've got to just keep going, just keep going. Just stuff it down, right? You've got to allow the waves of emotion to come. We have to grieve because the release also helps your mindset reset. So grief, process, right? Even get excited when you write down that why or where you're going or the goals you have. Smell that oil, get excited, jump up and down, be happy about it, right? Because that's where you're going. We know where you've been. We release that what. So we're moving and functioning in the why as we do the process. So write that down. The stronger your why, the greater the resolve. So here's the thing. At first, maybe we can't vision climbing a mountain, okay? Maybe you can only envision getting to the first tree or getting out of the car in the parking lot. That's okay. You're gonna get there. And as you release, and as you journal, and as you use these amazing kits, because maybe you need freedom release or freedom sleep, or you try transformation oil or all the amazing blends that Young Living has, as you go through that, things will start to open up. Your mindset will change. You'll start to see the vision grow until you see the peak of your mountain. So, I want to tell you a quick story. When Joshua went to Jericho in the Bible, there were walls and there were giants in there, right? And if you remember the story, everyone was scared of these giants. But God had said to Joshua, I'm going to deliver the city to you. And so Joshua said, all right, we'll go to the city. We're going to do what God tells us. And so all the Israelites followed Joshua, okay? And so they camped out there, and Joshua got instruction to tell them all that they were going to walk around the whole city for 6 days in silence. I want to think about how many times I tried to silence my children in a movie theater. Never mind God telling you, your kid better be quiet. So they're all walking around and they're alone, right? They can only talk to God because they have to be silent. And then you have Joshua on the 7th day, blows the trumpet. And guys, what happens to the walls 25 feet high and 25 feet thick? They go in like ramps. Now all the Israelites are running up these ramps because they're going to war, and they are now taller than the giants. See, we face giants all the time, but God's made a way. He's made a way, and He wants your mind to be right. So Joshua and the Israelites, they obeyed, they were quiet. Then they ran up these walls and they defeated the giants. Where are you in your why? Where are you in your what? Let go of the what. Head towards the why, because when you get there, there's a ramp that's bigger than your mountain. You're gonna run to the mountain, and there's gonna be a bridge that falls to the top of the mountain, and you just have to go on that bridge to get there. So mindset also creates faith. It also helps you to go, okay, I believe in my why. I believe I was created for this. Whether it's fun or it's a goal, financial, you were created for this. You've got this desire inside. Go for it. Okay? So, the third thing, the hard thing, accountability. Here's where you need someone to come alongside you, or a group of people to come alongside you. See, I played sports my whole life. I had a team. I had kids and my husband, they were the A team. But I needed outside help. I needed people around me struggling with the same thing I was struggling with, doing the same thing I was doing, and talking about the hard things with me. I needed to be vulnerable to them and tell them, hey, today I'm really struggling with this. Why? Because like I told you with the medical community, when the doctors and things that we were consulting were having a positive view on a desperate situation, my view was changing. My husband was empowered. Things were shifting. Same thing with whatever your goal is. Find a team of people that have the same goal. If you're building a brand partnership with Young Living, I guarantee you've got a team that wants to talk about being vulnerable and get ideas and get excited, that's such a cool part. If you're using the feelings kit, maybe you get out there and say, hey, who else is using the feelings kit? Where are we at, right? Create accountability. Integrity with yourself. If you say you're gonna do it, do it. If you're struggling, tell your accountability group you're struggling so they can come around you and help you keep your integrity. It's awesome. So when you have a mindset makeover, everything you dream and desire is possible. Are obstacles gonna come? Yes. I wanna leave you with this that I love. Being challenged in life is inevitable. Being defeated is optional. Roger Crawford said that. Because mindset is an emotion, it's what you think. You can change what you think. You can change what you focus on. So get rid of the what. Lean real hard into the why. Because now you know how. Thanks for listening to my talk. And may you have a blessed mindset moving forward.